Hello, I'm Ken DeWitt, EOS Implementer, and I want to tell you about a tool you can download and use right now called the 13-week cash flow forecast tool. It's important to use whether you are challenged by the current environment and had a reduction in sales, or whether you're growing rapidly and you're still doing well. It's a useful tool in either situation. I came across it years ago when I was a chief financial officer and a turnaround management professional, where I took companies that were challenged and weakened and helped them work together with the leaders to come back to health. And it's equally important for the companies I work with now, which are successful and growing companies. So we're going to start to show you this tool right now to give you a preview. You can download this off the website. You'll be provided a link, but it's a 13-week cash flow projection. You start by entering a starting date, whatever your date is, a cash alert balance minimum because you can't spend every penny you have, and then you populate the weeks going forward. In this case, we started this one on March the 20th, and so we ended the week on Friday, March the 27th, and so forth. Now, the first section to think about is cash receipts, and the second section to think about is cash paid out. And it comes down to those two things. When you come to total starting cash plus cash coming in this coming week, we think cash we expect to pay out equals net cash paid out, cash on hand at the end of the week. It's important to always have cash. So it's a guess. What you have to do is say, I think I'm going to collect this much in cash sales this week, or this much on my accounts receivable week by week. And you can go by your receivable or customer or payer, or whatever you want to call it. If you have to draw on your bank loan, you show that here on this line, and there's room for other sources of cash. Maybe it's a personal cash injection. Then you look at cash paid out. Cash paid out, I divide into three categories: must pays, strategic partners, and everybody else. If you want to see further description of this, go to my blog post called An EOS Company's Guide to Surviving Coronavirus. It's at dewittllc.com/blog, and you'll see this. And you can look at this and go through what I call the survival checklist. And there's a 9-step checklist there, which includes cash flow planning and the other things that are necessary to succeed when you're in tough times, or to succeed when you're growing. Step 6 is about get good at weekly cash forecasting. Step 7 is about managing your accounts payable. So I want to talk briefly about that because that's where I explained what must pays are, strategic partners, and everybody else. So briefly looking back at it, manage your accounts payable, step 7. This came from my turnaround days where you had to take your accounts payable and you divided them into 3 categories to figure out who must I pay. Because must pays are anybody that could technically shut you down if you didn't pay them. Employees, payroll taxes. I want you to put payroll taxes into that category because the government is horribly severe when you don't pay your payroll taxes. Strategic partners is the second category. These are vendors or people you pay money to who are deeply interested, or should be, in your survival and success. That includes your major vendors for your supplies, your services, your landlord perhaps, anybody who you could negotiate extended terms with because it's in their best interest to have you succeed. And then finally, there's this category I call everybody else. It's any vendor that is not 1 or 2, or frankly could be easily replaced by another supplier if we had to delay payments. This can be kind of brutal, but that's just the truth. So you literally go week by week and you say, what do I think's coming in, cash receipts? What do I think's going out? What must I pay in terms of must pays, the payroll taxes, anything that you withhold from payroll like IRA or retirement contributions, certain vendors that you feel you must pay this week, and so forth and so on. And at the end, you get a cash on hand at the end of the week. And obviously we want this cash on hand at the end of the week to be blank. If it's red, you have to go back and decide who can I pay or delay, or where might I get additional money. As a bonus, there is something called balance sheets. I'd like you to go over all of this with your accountant, because this is not exactly the way they do it, but it's the way that I have to look at companies when we're in a difficult situation. What is my book value or cost of my assets? What is the fair value? Obviously, cash is the same, but your accounts receivable may not be the same. For example, they may be worth $100,000 on the books, but only collectible to $60,000 in the next 13 weeks or so. Inventory might be the same way. And so, and then keep up with, ultimately, you're working toward your net worth. I say do this for your company and do it for your personal, and work with your accountant, your attorney, to make sure you don't spend your personal money improperly in protecting your business. And so let's get back to the cash flow forecast. Remember, it's simple. Cash in, cash out. It's approximate. It's a forecast. Nobody's going to audit you. You're going to learn week by week how to do it better. But it'll give you comfort, or it'll help you focus where you need to focus. So that is the tool. You can download that. I urge you to download it and let me know what you think of it. Thank you very much.